things is bad, just like everybody else. So you gotta know that you're not by yourselves in your little spiritual world. You gotta know that. I mean, there's Hawaiians that believe that too, and stand firm to that. I think you'll find better luck in Hawaii hanging on to those understandings of where you're at and how much respect you gotta have for it. It'll pay you back, and I think that's the only way we have to look at things. So I know we're a minority, but we're still trying to keep the window open for maybe future children or generations to have an advantage. I don't want to shut the doors on everything because we're not there. If the bird's not in the tree, that don't mean you get to cut it down. It may come back next week. But it's all the idea about nobody's there now, so let's just take it. And no opportunity for tomorrow. We don't live on a continent, we live on an island. And it comes full circle real quick on islands. And it's connected, Mauka Makai. So every time you destroy an ecosystem at a certain level, you screw up the whole system. And we got to pay attention to that, you know, because they can't speak for themselves. It's up to us. And we got to speak for everybody. I mean, the fish, the birds, we got to think for them. We destroy them, and it's part of who I am. Everything in Hawaii has a native name to it. A Hawaiian put a name on it. He's not recognized, though, because when you see all about Hawaii, it's birds, flowers, but there's no people picking, eating, living. You don't see those things. You just see a bird or a flower. And you can see it at National Park, and you can see it at Nature Conservatives meetings, and you can see it in certain documentations, but they'll never have native people actually involved in it. And I don't know why. We're very much part of this environment. We came with it. And we got to go with it too, the same way that we feel we should live it. So I just want you folks to know I really appreciate organizing in your communities. You guys have to stay firm, stay strong. You love this place, then love it the way you love things. I don't think geothermal should be dumped on nobody's backyard and sacrilegious to native people's beliefs. So, hey, learn how to turn off the lights, unplug things you don't need. But you got to love Hawaii like we do. Just want you to know that. If you don't see the Hawaiians out there loving it, I'm telling you we do. Aloha.
I want to say, when nobody was there for us in the beginning, Palikapu was the first one that stood up and helped us, and we would have never did it without him. So we got a few new politicians in the House, a few old politicians. We got Harry Kim, we got Dominic Yagong, we got Russell Ruderman, our new state senator, and we've got Gregory Yagong, a new representative for District 4. Russell flew in from Honolulu, and he was in Honolulu. I asked him to please come, and he flew in, and you know, he's going to be an ally for us up in the state level. So I asked him to come up here and just tell you something. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Bob. Well, yeah, it's a pleasure to be here. It's even more of a pleasure to see so many people here being involved. And you know, when Bob was describing all the people involved in Puna Pono and all the talent and brains and creativity there, I was very, very impressed. And I have to say, you know, when they think about where they might want to do any geothermal again, Puna's the wrong place for a lot of reasons. But one is they're going to have a heck of a fight if they try to do that. guys are very, very organized and educated and creative and energetic too. And along the way, I want to say, known a lot of these folks for a long time, and a lot of folks been involved in this issue for a long time. But I'm so impressed with the work that Bob Petricci has done lately in pulling so much of this together. And it's so much fun. So I just started my new job. I moved into my office at the state capitol just in the last couple of weeks. I think what happens there is a much more slow, gradual process than I wish it was. But I will be trying to push in the right direction. And I'll be working with Bob and all you folks if there is any geothermal-related legislation that's possible. But I do know that there's some things that touch on the subject, including solar power and PLDC issues. And I do want to say that it seems to me that the PLDC is probably going to get repealed. And I think that's probably going to be one of the first things that happens there. At least the discussion over it. And, it's moving day by day, but it's just amazing, and there's been so much, energy behind that. So anyway, I don't want to take up too much time. I know you guys got a lot of wonderful speakers tonight. Thank you so much, Bob, for giving me mahalo.
Thank you, Russell. Original member of the Big Island Rainforest Action Network. I also want to thank Steve Hirakami. I get a brain freeze and I forget Steve, and I've done it before. I really apologize for providing the system, the sound system, and providing a meeting place and being part of this and helping organize the meeting. And he's been a huge part, and I know he's really busy running the Haas School also, and Steve really gives a lot of time to Puna Pono also, so thank you, Steve. We got Dominic Yagong next, and you all know who he is. Dominic has been our biggest champion at the county council.
That's it? Council-elect Iligan, Senator-elect Ruderman, Mayor Harry Kim, and the rest of you wonderful Puna people, aloha! It is so nice to be here. Thank you so much, Bob, for inviting me. He's been such a wonderful partner, and I've learned so much from Bob and many of the people in this organization. I appreciate it. Those of you folks probably know by now that December 3rd is going to be my last day at the Hawaii County Council. Actually, folks, I've been on the County Council for 12 years, and I just want to take this opportunity to say thank you and mahalo for giving me the opportunity to work with so many wonderful people, not only throughout the island, but here in Puna. You folks have been absolutely wonderful in terms of participating in the government process and raising the education of this island in regards to issues that are important. Whether it was a building code, who was at these meetings? Puna was there. Whether we're talking about sustainable living, who was there? The people from Puna. When we talked about the relocation fund and buying monitors for the residential geothermal, when we talked about the health studies, when we talked about the emergency evacuation route, who was there at the county council? The people of Puna. And I just want to tell you folks, it has been an absolute pleasure working with many of you, but more importantly, it's been an absolute pleasure being part of a movement and a direction that poses to make our community better. So do me a favor, give yourself a great big round of applause for that. You folks have been wonderful. Thank you. I was asked by Bob to talk about Bill 292. And that's basically the bill that was passed by the Hawaii County Council. And basically Bill 292 is the restriction on geothermal exploratory drilling where they would be restricted to drill from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. in the morning.
No, restricted to drill everybody.
Yeah, restricted, yeah, you would not be able to drill during that time from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. I've had a long day today, folks. This is my third meeting today. But at any rate, and so what happened was we passed the bill. I want to make everyone understand that the bill basically wasn't directed specifically to PGV. It was directed to any geothermal drilling anywhere on the island. That if you are to drill within a 1 mile radius of any residential area, you must abide by this county code. So it's not just for PGV, but for everybody that may or may not, but may do a geothermal drilling on this particular island. Now, Bill 292 basically went to 3 readings. It passed at the committee level, and it passed at 2 full council meetings. We also had the opportunity to come out here to Puna, where we had a public hearing right here at the community center. And what happened was the bill passed. It went to the whole process, and it passed by a 5-2 margin at the county council. Now, the people that voted against the bill was Councilmember Jay Yoshimoto and Councilmember Fresh Yamishi. And 2 people that did not vote on the matter, Mr. Ikeda was not in the room at the time that we took the vote. And Mr. Blas, at that time, he had a family, his brother passed away in the mainland, so he was in the mainland when we took the vote, so he wasn't there taking the vote. But I do want to share that morning of the vote, his wife did come to the county council to talk to me, although I wasn't there in the morning, but relayed this to my executive assistant, and number 1, to tell me that, relate to me why he wasn't at the meeting, because he had to deal with the passing of his brother in the mainland. But the second thing was to let me know that it was his intentions to vote for Bill 292. So just want to let you folks know. Now, the reason why Bob asked me to come forward and talk about the bill is to talk about the process. It has passed the county council. However, there's been some discussion on the general public that the mayor may veto the bill. Okay, as you know, the mayor did veto Bill 256. Remember that. He also vetoed Bill 257, which was the emergency. Having the civil defense director be mandated to conduct an evacuation plan for the people of Puna for the plant here in Puna. And of course, Bill 256 had to do with making sure that the funds were dedicated towards relocation and dedicated towards public safety, buying monitors, funding the health study and so forth. Well, that was vetoed as well, both of those bills. So now, let's move forward to Bill 279. So I want to let everyone know that I have gotten 0 indication of whether or not the mayor intends to veto the bill. But the question that was asked to me is, okay, if he does veto, please come to Puna and let people know what the process will be from there. So that's why I'm here. Now, if the mayor decides to veto the bill, he actually has until December 5th to do so. December 5th is a day, would be the last day that he can inform the county council that he is going to veto Bill 297. Now, once he does that, he would send a letter to the council chairperson, and by that time, I'll be out of office and there'll be a new council in. So Jay Yoshimoto will be receiving that letter. So once they receive that, according to our county charter, the county council has 5 days, up to 30, where they can take some kind of action. So basically, we have the council, once they receive it, if they receive it on December 5th, would have 30 days to take some type of action to either override the mayor's veto or to sustain the mayor's veto. Now, what would happen? Yeah, and you would need 6 votes to do that. Now, the voting on the override, if it does come to pass, will be done by the new council, not this council that's in place right now. So it'll be the new members of the council that will be dealing with this issue. Now, here's the thing. This is the process. What would happen is if he does veto on December 5th, a council member of the new county council would have to write a communication to the chairman, or the chairman could do it himself, to say that they want to reconsider Bill 292. And if a council member does that, what will happen is a mayor veto message will then go on the council agenda. And at that point in time, the new council will take a vote on whether or not they want to reconsider Bill 292 and put it back live on the council floor for a vote. If a council member does it right, to the chairman, or if the chairman does not put it on the agenda and no action is taken, in 30 days, the bill is dead. So what that means is unless the council takes action, then basically the veto is going to be sustained. Now, if a council member does write in and say we want to reconsider Bill 292, it'll go on the agenda, most likely the December 19th agenda, because if it doesn't go on the December 19th agenda, the next meeting is in January 9th. So that means it'll be past the 30 days. So it has to go on the December 19th agenda, which means someone has to write that letter to the chairman to do so. Now, if someone does write that letter to the chairman, requesting that item gets onto the agenda and asks that it be put on December 18th agenda, what will happen is at that meeting, December 19th, at that meeting, the council will first take a reconsideration vote. If they vote, and you need 5 votes to do a reconsideration. If there is no 5 votes are not there, what will happen is the mayor veto stands. Okay? So you need at least 5 votes to reconsider and put it back onto the council floor. If you have the 5 votes or more, which I hope that you do, what will happen then is the council will now take a revote on Bill 292. They will then discuss that in open session to give their reasons as to whether they support the mayor vetoing the bill or whether they do not support the mayor vetoing the bill, and they will take a vote. At that point, when the vote is taken, you will need 6 votes, not 5, but 6 votes to override the mayor's veto. So basically, I would just suggest to all of you that, and if you do believe that this ordinance that was passed, to make sure that the people living within the vicinity of the geothermal should not be subjected to 24-hour drilling. And the reason this whole thing came about was because the people of Puna came to me and said, Dominic, this is not Pono. And what we did was we amended Chapter 44, which is a section that deals with the general welfare of the people of the county of Hawaii. And we don't believe, certainly I don't believe, that subjecting kids that need to go to school or subjecting adults that need to work the next day, having to wake up 2, 3 o'clock in the morning because of the noise that's generated from 24-hour drilling. If you're going to drill, and I know there's a lot of people here who probably prefer that there'll be no drilling period, but if you're going to drill, it should be done so at a time that is reasonable. And that's why when I say that this bill is not targeted just for PGV, but everywhere else. If geothermal is going to come in, and I don't know that it will, but if it does in other places of the island, what that tells you, you don't do what you did in Puna. You don't put a geothermal plant next to a residential area. So that's why this bill is important. Because what happens is this: if for whatever reason there is geothermal moving forward, say in Hualalai in West Hawaii, they'd be very smart not to build anywhere close to any residential area. Because you don't want to relive some of the problems that has taken place out here in Puna. So it's a very important bill. It's an extremely important bill. And it's important that the council members, the new council members, understand that you as a public, you as a community deserve to have this discussed in open session.
All right, Grego! All right, Grego!
Certainly, I hope that is what's going to take place in this particular process. And at that point in time, obviously, you folks have been great, wonderful in coming forward with communications to the council members, expressing your support for the bill. That's going to continue to be important. And people that are there actually, testifying, that's extremely important. But watch for the December 5th vote date. Now, the mayor could surprise many people and cite it. I don't know. I hope he does. I hope he does. And we should encourage him to do that, by the way. But if he does not, I think it's, the issue it's a great issue, I think, for the entire island, because, for the most part, a lot of the issues have been focused right here in Puna. But when you hear the talk about geothermal being done in other districts, the other council members had better be aware that they could be knocking in your community soon. And it's important that the representative, really look out for the best interests of the